What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Land of Reckless Logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack that notification bell so do not miss any of my posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Alrighty, guys, so you guys already know why we are here. How's everybody doing? Alright, let me get some things in order, and then we can get straight into this video. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run my intro, and then we're going to get straight into it, okay? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Let me say hello to the few people that already left me some messages. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? How are you doing today? Hey, Stevie. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I appreciate it. All right, so we about to get into some things. Okay, so first thing I do want to get into, let's get into Lil Nas X. So let me change up my screen and let's get straight into what we need to get into. Bam, there we go. So Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is, of course, in the media once again because he released his video J Christ. Now, the music video was released, I want to say at this point in time 2 days ago, but he released his music video, and his music video had to do with him being, quote unquote, our Lord Savior Jesus Christ, Yahshua, and him basically acting as Yahshua. Now, first few things I do want to say about the music video. Few things I do want to say essentially is that I do like the graphics in terms of the music video. Hold up real quick. I got notifications popping up on my end. Hold up, y'all. Let's make sure. Hold up. Gotta make sure everything's popping off real good. Oh yeah, by the way, y'all have another screen over here to kind of monitor what's going on. Cause girl, the way retrograde been acting up has been playing with my electronics. Okay, so if y'all see anything crazy, y'all let me know, okay? Cause I do have my electronics up. All right, so yes. In terms of the music video, I really do like the music video in terms of the graphics and the quality. Now, but the reason why we're here is because essentially, of course, with anything that Lil Nas X does, it's always going to be an uproar. There's always going to be drama in terms of the way that he delivers his quote unquote craft, whether it's authentic or not. But let's get right into it. Let me do this real quick. Bam, holy fam. Then pull up my other screen. Damn, there we go. So now, while we're here, now it says here that, of course, this is brought to you guys by the courtesy of the Jasmine brand. It's a Lil Nas X giving us another glimpse of him as J Christ. Now let's see what some of the people had to say in the comment section. Let me get this out the way real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna get this out the way for me. Now it says here. Let me bring this up. Let me see. I'm over here working. There we go. I'm over here working a new system, y'all. Work with me. Now, as I said, not a fan of him, but what's the difference in his video and Nas featuring Puff Daddy Hate Me Now video? That's what one person said. Another person says, God forgive them for they not know what they do. Another person says, don't give this man no views. Loose here. It says here, he gonna stop playing with my Lord and Savior for clickbait. I'm gonna read a few more. It says, hell awaits, that's all I'm going to say. Another person says, how come they don't play with Muslims and the Jewish like this? Another person says, okay, here, oh, Jesus. Okay, that's a long one. But we're going to read this one. It's going to be the last one that I read. It says, I call upon, come on, Jasmine Brand. I call upon my great archangel, Michael, he who is like God, to destroy this blasphemy. I call upon all my angels who exist in heaven to immediately punish this fool of lawlessness. It's a shame America does not even have a law to protect my King, Jesus Christ. It's a shame there is no one government official who claims to have power to protect the one who sacrificed for us his own life. It's a shame we are in a position. This would never happen in Islam. This would never happen in the Middle East. Only in America. Us so sad. Now I know some of y'all can't see it because my bubble in the way, but I had to read it out to y'all. Here's the thing. That's what a few things had to say. Now let's see. But let me bring it back real quick to this. Let me bring it back to this. Okay, so here's my thing. Now, of course, he released the music video. Now he did receive some backlash, as you guys can see, in terms of what people in the public had to say. Come on, notifications, got people notifying me. Let me do this real quick. Now, a few people specifically was giving him some backlash. Let's get into who they were. Now we have Kai Cenat. Now, hopefully I'm not butchering this man's name, but Kai Cenat. Damn. Yes, okay, yeah. Kai Cenat is a Twitch live streamer, very well known in terms of the younger generation. If you're not aware of him, in terms of where you are, but he is a well-known influencer in terms of live streaming, twitching, etc., etc. If you are not aware of who he is, the best person I could probably hook you up with in terms of being able to find out who he is would be Nicki Minaj, because he did actually do a live stream with Nicki Minaj, and that live stream did get a lot of traction and some viral moments. And then also he was on stage with her recently. So yes, he has something to say about the situation. Hopefully I don't butcher this man named Jai Dion. Had something to say as well. Just hilarious. Decided to come out in solidarity. Make sure in solidarity with Kai. And then not only that, we have Hurricane Chris also spoke out against Lil Nas X. But let's actually, I don't want you guys to take my word for it. Let's actually get into and see what the people had to say. Because let me see this real quick. Oh, by the way, y'all make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. When you guys thumbs up, it really does help out with YouTube's algorithm. So let me do a little clicking here and there, and let's get into the things that we need to get into. Let me say real quick, because girl, over here in this video, we're going to have to do a lot of clicking back and forth, up and down, and all around. All right, so let me see. Girl, this man and his, oh, Lord have mercy. Jesus, fix it. All righty, so let me pop this up. Bam, there we go. Now let me drop this down. Oh, before I do that, hey TST, how you doing? How you doing? All right, but yes, let me drop this down so everybody can see everything. Now I know things are over here going crazy, but we're gonna work through this. So bam. So Kai Cenat response to Lil Nas X, of course, is brought to you guys by the Jasmine brand, one of my favorite blogs and media entities. Kai Cenat responds to Lil Nas X album cover. And so this is what Kai Cenat had to say.
Oh my. Fuck that! Yo, Lil Nas X, you could eat my whole eat that nigga, bro. Yeah. That shit just popped up in my head, bro. That nigga, bro, now word of my mother, bro, God gonna handle you in the right way. I didn't even talk about that yet, bro. But look, God gonna handle you, bro. And you're bro.
What he did?
No, bro.
What he did?
No, bro. God gonna handle that nigga. Real shit.
What did he do?
Nah, bro. I'm never gonna explain it, bro.
But bro, no.
He's extremely disrespectful, bro. He disrespectful.
Okay, tell me how he disrespected, because bro, you can't be on that bad timing. I'm just sitting in the corner on bad timing.
Go on his page, bro.
Hey yo,
he disrespect God himself. That's
Christianity, like Christianity.
Yes, he disrespect the whole culture.
He was mocking it.
Yes, making
fun
of.
Lil Nas X, eat my. Oh my.
Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially what Kai had to say. Now, also in addition to Kai, we have once again, I do not want to butcher this man's name. So it says, but however, I'm gonna call him Jai. Jai calls out Christians for believing Lil Nas X recent gimmicks. Now, this of course is brought to you guys by No Jumper. So this is what Jai had to say.
Christians, you're getting baited, man. I don't understand how many times you guys are gonna fall for the same trick. Lil Nas X is a gimmick rapper. He's no better than 6ix9ine. Once the gimmick is over, once everybody gets over the gimmick and stuff like that, it's like, okay, bro, we don't care anymore. And that's what he is. He can't sell songs without having a little bit of controversy thrown in there. And at first, his thing was, oh, I'm gay. Everything had the LGBTQ supporting him, whatnot. All right, all the gay guys, all the gay girls, they know you're gay. What's new? So what was the next thing? Oh, let's rile up some Christians. Let's give Satan a lap dance. Give Satan a lap dance. Boom, sales go crazy. He's like, oh, okay. You know what? Let's do it again. Let's make a quote unquote Christian song and let me wear a wig. Let me wear a dress. Get these same stupid Christians riled up again. Christians, you're getting baited, man. I don't understand.
So that's what Ja had to say. Now, also in addition to Ja, like I said earlier, Just Hilarious was also in solidarity with Kai. Let me get myself together over here. Bam. And this is brought to you guys by Hollywood Unlocked. Now it says here, Just Hilarious says that she's with Kai Cenat following his response to Lil Nas X. I'm with you, Kai. Now, this is the actual post on her Instagram page where, of course, Kai's response, because like I said earlier, if you're not aware of Kai, he is someone that is in the media and he does get a lot of traction. And so he spoke out, and that also, of course, gained traction by the blogs, by the media. And also, in addition to that, of course, when you put anything on any type of blog site or you put it out there on the forefront of social media, people are obviously going to put their opinion, whether they're famous or fameless, etc. All right, so I'm with you, Kyle, but you can't tell a gay guy to eat your bro. So she was with him, but at the same time, it was like a little bit of humor. Now the last person is hers. Now Hurricane Chris. So this is what he had to say about the situation.
Man,
Hold up, y'all. Let's make sure everything good over here. There we go. Hold up. Make sure I'm good. Am I good over here? There we go. Girl, I'm telling you, Retrograde been tearing my electronics up, girl. Alrighty. So let's see what he had to say.
Man, this dude Lil Nas X, it's the most disrespectful shit I ever seen in my life. I can't even get my fucking words out. Bro, find you something else to play with besides Jesus. If you don't believe in Jesus or none of that, then just don't play with it at all, bro. You ain't gotta believe in it, but don't play with that, bro. Don't play with nobody's religion. That's some down bad ass shit. They always ask me what I thought about you, and I try not to be disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, due to, you know, how everything works, but nah, fuck that. You's a foul ass, disrespectful ass cat. Man, you gonna really go out there and, man, I don't know, what to play with Jesus like that, the Last Supper. So you think Jesus is something to play with? It's just a toy. You think just because you got your community behind you that you can just do anything at this point, huh? Well, you got life fucked up. And we slide behind Jesus. Ain't nobody playing like that, homeboy. Now I see why such and such was on your head like that. Cause he seen that you was a straight fuck nigga, a little bitch ass fuck nigga, playing with Jesus like that. You was a mob.
Girl.
Play with Jesus like that.
So is that all he had to say, girl? Okay, so so that's what all the people had to say, girl. Let me bring myself back to this full screen. Girl, let me just let me bring myself back here. Okay. This because you're okay, here's my thing. Get myself together over here because I'm trying to get it together. Get it together. Actually, I want full screen. I don't want Lil Nas X right here right now. I want full screen. Girl. Because sometimes I'm running into the image itself. All right, so here's the thing. Now, let's get into, I do agree with Jai about what Lil Nas X does. Lil Nas X is essentially baiting people. Lil Nas X is a troll. Okay, Lil Nas X is like Doja Cat. Not when it comes to the musical ability, but in terms of trolling, they are trollers. Now Lil Nas X is more gimmicky than my personal opinion than Doja Cat. They both do their little things to get things rolling, but essentially, in my opinion, they're kind of one of the same in terms of their trolling and in terms of getting the public riled up. And in this case, like I said earlier, I do agree with Jai. He's baiting Christians, baiting people with this idea that with this idea that bad publicity is considered good publicity. So bad attention is good attention because it does bring people to your page and bring people to your craft who probably never would have went your way or even paid attention to you beforehand. So yes, I do agree that he is a troll. Oh, come on, this Mercury retrograde, because I'm over here got this other screen over here, and girl, my the quality is over here going crazy, but not on my end, but on y'all end. Girl, all right, so yes, but here's my thing in terms of the general public, in terms of Lil Nas X. People are going to be mad regardless, like Hurricane Chris said in his video somewhere up in there. People are going to be mad regardless, because even when Lil Nas X was on a pole and he was going down to hell and dancing on the devil, something that people literally tell queer people all the time through their religions, through their Bibles, through their religious practices, through their sermons, through the vessels of preachers and evangelists that tell queer people this all the time, even when queer people mind their own business and be in their own spaces, even when he was just accepting what people were telling him, saying, you know what, I am going to go to hell. And you know what, I am going to dance I am going to be with the devil. And so let me make a video about that and dance on the devil and go straight to hell. So now he done flipped the script, and now he done went up to heaven, and now people are still upset. Now, one can argue that it's not so much of him going to heaven, it's so much of him, quote unquote, mocking Yahshua. But we're going to hold off on that. We're going to get a little bit louder. Let's see. I'm going to see what some of you guys are saying, because I really have not been paying attention to the comment section so much, only because the simple fact, girl, I've been over here flipping back and forth, up and down and all around. All right, it says here. Oh, yeah, I brought this one up earlier, but just in case you ain't see it. Basically, just hilarious. You need to worry about your job, because as of recently, if you guys have not been paying attention, there is some, I'm going to say a little bit of traction, and people wanted to know whether or not Just Hilarious, who was recently crowned and basically, recently crowned as the third co-host at the Breakfast Club. But apparently, when I looked into the media, it seemed like it's been getting some traction, or there's some speculation of her being fired or not being on being essentially on the show anymore. And girl, now this is what Michelle had to say. Michelle says Lil Nas X is coming against organized religion and not God. Michelle also said people will harm each other but act like they have much love for Jesus. Make it make sense. That someone can argue that. And to be completely honest, I'm arguing both sides of the spectrum. I'm not oblivious or completely deaf, and also I'm blind to what Lil Nas X does. I know that he's a troll. I know that he mocks the dominant society in terms of whoever has the dominant belief system, and essentially it would be Christianity, which ran this country for so long, and that's essentially the foundation of, quote unquote, America's belief system and foundation and values. So he's mocking the same society that beats up on marginalized groups of people in one way or another. But at the same time, like you said, like y'all are essentially calling the cat. Y'all are really trying. If the car can go forward, it can go backwards. You can't call somebody out for, quote unquote, disrespecting your Lord and Savior. But however, on a daily basis, a lot of you guys, y'all may do it and you may not be aware of it, but you guys did disrespect your Lord and Savior all the freaking time. How many times have people have had babies out of wedlock? How many times have people have been in marriages and essentially from your Lord and Savior, from what the laws, etc., were or are, where you are actually in the same household while your wife is on her period? It's a lot of things that disrespect your Lord and Savior. Now, Michelle also says Madonna used religious images in her videos and even used to dress like a Catholic priest in the Virgin Mary. Same thing with Nicki Minaj. Nicki did the same thing. Dressed like a priest. Now, let's see. Come on, notification. Now it says here, they better leave my son alone. That's what Raven had to say. Nas and Diddy too. Because he is queer too. It's like the idea is this. The reason why they have an issue in terms of Lil Nas X is that because the exact same thing he's doing, other people have done as well. But it's that it's from this mentality of this. We've already allowed you to be in this space. We let you live and actually be a part of this space. And now you're going to come into this space and disrespect this space. And you're getting too free. So now that you're getting too free, now we may have to almost like put you in your place, or eventually we're going to have to put you in your place. If that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? But let me continue. So another thing I did notice about the video is that there was some celeb lookalikes. Now, let me see, can I pull this up? Maybe I skipped over this before of what Lil Nas X said. And what was it? Oh, no, it's not in here. Dang, I can't. Well, there was a post where Lil Nas X let it be known that he was going to expose the industry. And so what I noticed, and this is me trying to look at it from his perspective, but at the same time, in different aspects, look at it from the flip side of the opposing argument as well. So when there was a post where, like I said, he said he was going to expose the injury, and the thing that I noticed when I watched the video is that there were some lookalikes that looked like celebrities. Now, there was some of the celebrities I did, at least came to my mind when I looked at the video, was Taylor Swift. It was Taylor Swift, Kanye West, Mariah Carey. One of the women looked like Oprah. Another one looks like this one. And the guy in the beginning, he looked like Barack Obama. At least that's what came to my head when I saw the lookalike. Now, he talked about exposing the industry. So essentially, if he's Yahshua and he's satanic, or he's a Luciferian, essentially, and then he's supposed to be the Luciferian Yahshua, and you have all these celebrities coming to him, what does that say? And then in addition to that, another thing that I noticed about the video is that there were a lot of upside down crosses in the video, which is a obvious symbol to be anti-Christ. Anything the opposite of Christ is anti-Christ. So the cross being upside down is a direct symbol of being anti-Christ. Now here's the thing, I'm not negating that Lil Nas X is possibly, or it's quite safe to say that he's probably a Luciferian, or the people that he's with work in that realm. But then again, at the same time, we all know this because the thing about it, people have told the stories about the music industry and how satanic it is all the time. And I'm always going to use this reference where Cat Williams was literally in the news, within the media, with his Club Shay Shay interview, exposing the industry for, quote unquote, from his perspective, the satanic, Luciferian rituals and rites of passage, quote unquote. So we know, I'm just saying, like, I'm not negating either or, but we're going to be honest on both sides. Now, Stevie says, I mean, they even made an adult film called Heaven or Hell. Stevie also said, it's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy for her. Michelle let it be known, the video was not about Jesus at all. It was about people worship money, fame, and power as God. Okay. And then, okay, so Stevie let it be known, Madonna did like a prayer. But like I said, Stevie, and we all know why. It's because you're queer and you're doing the exact same things that Tupac, Diddy, Nicki, everybody has done. And the thing about it is that we've let you come into this. We allowed you to come into this space. We allowed you to be in this space. And so you need to be on your best behavior. That's essentially what this mentality is. But on the flip side, I do understand what they're saying in terms of Lil Nas X using gimmicks to be able to gaslight people to bring traction to his name. We've seen it over and time again. Now, I will say this. Now, in terms of Kai specifically, now, like I said earlier, Kai did speak out. Now, here's the thing. Now, in terms of Kai, if you're not aware of Kai, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Now, people on X, formerly known as Twitter, was letting Kai have it because they was letting it be known that, sir, while you're sitting up on your platform trying to talk about Lil Nas X being disrespectful to God and saying, and I quote, God is going to deal with you because you're disrespectful AF. So some of the tweets that I've seen on X was calling Kai out. Now, somewhere in the past, in the bike, Kai was involved in a situation where there was an associate of his had something to do or was involved in a SA allegation where a woman came forth and said that she was SA'd. And so people on X was letting it be known, how can you literally say something along the lines of God's going to deal with you? How about you let God deal with your friend that SA'd that woman? You have bigger fish than fry. And I will say this is one of them situations to where us as people, sometimes we forget or we don't assess situations right and know when to just be quiet and eat our food. This is the reason why us staying out of everybody's situation in business a lot of times, or at least assess the situation first, will probably be in our best interest. But one can argue that he's a live streamer, he's an influencer, or like me, commentator, etc. So it is his job to talk and speak on those things. But I just thought that was interesting. Now let me continue. Now, this here's my whole thing in terms of it. I understand the plight. I understand the frustration that's coming from the opposing side. Now, keep in mind, I'm neutral. I understand both sides of the argument. I understand what Lil Nas is doing. Lil Nas X is doing, and I also understand why people who are Christians or people who not Christian but have a foundation of Christian but not Christian. And before I get into that, that's another thing. People who aren't really even Christians are the ones are being the ones so upset because of a lot of things too. If you look at Just Hilarious's history, if you look at what's his people name? Kai history. If you look at, now I don't know G Dion, now I don't know him, but if you look at Hurricane Chris, where you are involved in a section of hip hop where you glorify drug dealing, glorify violence, you glorify SA, but then you turn around and say that disrespectful to Joshua, make it make sense. I'm just saying. But get back on track. Where people are literally, I get both sides of the spectrum. But here's my thing, is that I believe that people are being too sensitive. I do believe that. I believe people are being too sensitive. I believe that people are being too in their feelings. I think Christians need to toughen up and need to accept the criticisms or ignore the criticisms. Now, you see how I literally just said that, and it was very dismissive to the plight of Christians. And the reason why I did that is because if the car can go forward, it can go backwards. It's in the same respect that whenever queer people go to speak about how people are disrespecting them online, directly in society, have laws have been made to disrespect the existence of queer people, we are told that we're being too sensitive. But then in situations like this, everybody else and also some queer people can be on one accord in terms of you're disrespecting religion. No, we don't do that around here. But when it comes down to other people who also live in the world, society, and everybody else, we can disrespect them. When it comes down to queer people, we can disrespect them. When it comes down to women, we can disrespect them. When it comes down to melanated people, we can disrespect them. But yet when it comes to religion, we don't mess with that. We don't disrespect religion. And like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this so I can make sure I keep landing my point there. I understand both sides and both plights. But at the same time, if the car can go forward, it can go backwards. If it go forward, it can go backwards. So if you guys are if queer people are being too sensitive, the opposing view is being too sensitive, because essentially all Lil Nas X is doing is giving back what society gives out. Like, and essentially, I use Doja Cat as an example to equate Lil Nas X. I would equate Lil Nas X to Boosie in terms of trolling, in terms of being intentional about trolling. So the same way Little Boosie is intentional about trolling. Hold on, y'all. I gotta make sure. Okay, I'm good over here on my end. My things start to freeze up, y'all. But the same way little Boosie is intentional about trolling the queer community, that's the same on the flip side. Lil Nas X is intentional about trolling dominant society, whether that's straight people, cis people, Christians, etc. Now, Michelle said this: an upside down cross could mean I am against the senseless unalive of a evolutionary thinker such as the Christ. That could be it. That could be it. I guess. I don't know. But the only thing I'm saying is that when it comes to quote unquote people being too sensitive, I think that we need to keep that same energy. But if not, let's take it off the table and let's actually take into consideration people's who may be offended plights. Now, I do understand we won't be able to please everybody, but I think we should be able to take into consideration people's plights. So the next time queer people go to say that Dave Chappelle was extremely disrespectful to transgender people, y'all should take into consideration the plight. The next time Lil Boosie goes to speak and queer people decide to speak out and say that it's very disrespectful, you should take into consideration the plight. As soon as Charleston White goes to speak with his ignorance and his rhetoric, take into consideration the plight. But let's move on. Let's turn the page on this one. Okay, let me refer back to this page here. So now we got Lil Nas X out the way. But by the way, y'all make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbs up, thumb it up. Okay, because when you thumbs up, it really does help out with YouTube's algorithm. So I got to make sure. So maybe I got to do it like this. Because now I got to. Bam, there we go. So now we go from, now the next story, I can smell it from a mile away, literally. Okay, so let's just get into what we need to get into. Vonrhe and Big Sexy. Now Vonrhe, who has been associated with LaToya forever, LaToya forever, former housewife or friend of the show of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and also associated with Sledgehammer Head, aka the assistant or former assistant, because I don't know the status currently, assistant for Tasha K, or Toxic K, Delusional K, 4 million K. I'm just saying, in debt K. So she is the assistant for Toxic K, etc., etc., etc. That is how Vonrhe, at least I came to know Vonrhe, is through Toxic K and that whole situation that went on. But they had a situation, end up parting ways. But then what happened is that Vonrhe came out after his accident of him being injured and being shot multiple times. He came back out and he came up with a podcast called Set the Record Straight. Now, his former co-host at this point in time is Big Sexy. Sometime Bike, initially, Big Sexy was a guest of the show. And then eventually they brought Big Sexy on to be a co-host. Now, at this currently in this state in time, Big Sexy has departed from the show. Let me get this out my face because this is going to aggravate my soul. Bam, there we go. So yes, Big Sexy has departed from the show. And as his departure, he did let it be known that on IG Live. I want to believe it's on IG Live, but on social media he was live and let it be known that he was not on the show anymore, and let it be known that he has departed from the show. Now I will say this: I actually was a big fan or supporter of the podcast. I did like the podcast. I did like the magic that they had going on with the dynamic views, even though at times the guest and also Vonrhe would kind of irritate my soul. But however, you're gonna need people to feel something when they come from your podcast or come from your platform. That's the goal whenever I come here. Especially when I had panels. I want people to feel something, even if that means they were angry at me, even if that means that they loved me or loved the panelists or loved the platform, or even if that means that it triggers something in them to get a conversation started. You want people to feel something, because emotions or feelings or the internal is something within us that motivates us to do whatever. What I mean that is that sometimes I could be so angry, and that does nothing. Hold up, y'all. Make sure. Hold up. Can you let me cam down? Cam back up. I'm over here freezing. Come on, retrograde, tearing me up. So let me just cam down for a second and let me continue, because Gary retrograde over here tearing me up on my screen. I can see it. So yes, emotions or feelings allows and makes people go out to do things. So if I have a platform and it quote unquote upsets people, or it really it has a enlightening to people, it can move people to bring more traction to said platform. So I was a big fan of or supporter of the podcast because of the views and then the magic that was going on in terms of the conversation, etc., etc., etc. Now, I said all of that to say this. Let me come back up and see. Okay, I should be back at this point. Retrograde is tearing my electronics up, but let me continue. Okay, I'm back. So every time I get the freeze, I'm just going to cam down, cam back up. That's going to be the magic that I got going on here. But anyway, so no, yeah. There we go. So yes, Big Sexy did leave the podcast, but in the same breath, yesterday, day before, Conscious TV had an exclusive interview with Vonrhe to clear his name and give out his side of the story of what has happened. Now, I will say this. Let me put my phone on silent, got messing stuff up. I will say this, is that initially when I was watching the podcast and I noticed Big Sexy was on there, at first I was like, okay, it could be, he could just not be present for that day. Like something could have happened. He probably had another gig he had to get to that probably was more mandatory. He'll just come back and do some episodes. But then when I saw him going for 2 episodes and there was no announcement surrounding, or at least from what I saw at the time, there was no announcement surrounding why he was going to be missing, then, I thought something was up. I thought something was up. I thought something was going on. I didn't know what happened. You get what I'm saying? I didn't know. And so the first thing that popped in my head is like, okay, something must have happened. And the reason why I say that is because if, let's just say Big Sexy was departing, or let's just say Big Sexy was at another gig, Vonrhe, unless I didn't see it, it's a possibility, he would have made an announcement. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Welcome to the Set a Record podcast. Just so you guys are aware, Big Sexy's out. He has another gig that he had to come to. Yada, 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 yada. To give an explanation. Thank you. But also in addition to that, if he was going to be quote unquote off doing his own podcast, the last couple of episodes, Vonrhe would have been promoting Big Sexy's podcast. As in, just so you guys are aware, welcome to the Set the Record Straight podcast. And just so you guys are aware, Big Sexy will be leaving us. And then you put like the aww sound effects in the background. Or you guys saying, oh, have a little sentimental moment. And then the last couple of episodes, you're promoting his podcast. So it's an easy transition, and you can prep for your audience and your viewers to realize that Big Sexy's presence in terms of being here every podcast, every episode, is coming to an end. And I'm going to be probably looking for more co-hosts and what's going to be my next plan of action. But that didn't happen. So that's why I was like, something had to happen. This is the way I was looking at it in my mind. Now, within the interview, now let me put this back up. Because once again, y'all, I'm going to be clicking through. So within the interview, with Conscious TV, Vonrhe let it be known that Big Sexy be scamming the girls. Big Sexy be on his BS. Big Sexy be taking from people and finessing his audience. That's what Vonrhe was the claims that Vonrhe were making inside of the interview. He also let it be known that Big Sexy panders to Black women, because as we know if you have seen the podcast on Set the Record Straight podcast, Big Sexy is typically the person on the side of Black women. He's more than likely on the side of Black women, and then Vonrhe and or the guests are typically on the opposing side in terms of the viewpoint. And so Vonrhe let it be known that he panders to Black women, and then not only that, he scams them. That's how he gets his audience, and when he finally gets the audience, he scams them. Okay, so another thing too is that they also talked about Big Sexy being stank. Now, this is the thing that I did not understand, and maybe I'm gonna come back to it. Is that Big Sexy? I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna continue. They also talked about Vonrhe let it be known and made claims that Big Sexy was too involved in his relationship. And when he told Big Sexy to step away and apologize for involving Big Sexy into his relationship, Big Sexy got mad. He also let it be known that Big Sexy tried to weaponize the queer community against him and come up with false claims and essentially slander Vonrhe's name behind the scenes to other people, and also tell other guests, because from what I know and I understand, that the guests were coming from Big Sexy's connections. That's me making an assumption, or at least the guest that Vonrhe was speaking of, where he told Big Sexy was allegedly telling that guest not to go to the podcast after Big Sexy made his departure. Oh, Lord. And then not only that, Vonrhe also let it be known that in terms of Big Sexy, he felt like after going through the situation with Big Sexy and how he was too involved in his relationship, and how after he told him to step off and kind of, mind your business, Big Sexy kind of flipped the script. He felt like Big Sexy just wanted to do the podcast to finesse him out of some meat. And so now let's get into this. Now, I already told you guys my thoughts in terms of the podcast. I love the podcast. I love the magic. I love everything that's going on there. Now, hey, Intersex, how you doing? Now, in terms of Big Sexy's departure, like I said earlier, I already knew something was going on because there was no announcement following or beforehand his departure. So in my mind, I was like, okay, something probably happened. One video, okay, cool. 2 videos without an announcement, and I watched them like without an announcement. That's kind of something might be going on there. That's what I thought in my head. Now his claims. Let's actually deal with his claims. What Vonrhe claimed, because I wasn't there. Now in terms of Big Sexy, after the situation of Set the Record Straight podcast and the dilemma between Big Sexy and Vonrhe letting it be known that Big Sexy is scamming the girls, essentially Black women, because there was a situation. Come on, Ghetto Snow. What's going on, Arshawn? And there was a situation where Big Sexy was doing a giveaway. And with him doing a giveaway, he was giving away a free car. Now, Vonrhe, from his perspective, he spilled the tea and blast Big Sexy, letting it be known that the woman that won the car was actually his sister. And the guy in the video who they were doing the promotion saying that we got us a car and we're gonna give it to a single mother or a single father because we know how hard it is and you guys are on your grind doing your thing, yada yada yada. And the person that was supposed to be the car salesman was actually his sister's boyfriend. And so he was scamming the girls. Scamming the girls. And I'm like, girl. Now, if this is true, and to be completely honest, I've actually went through the media spaces and I was seeing some things about Big Sexy scamming already. So it could be true, it could not be true. I wasn't there. But what I will say is this, is that if this is true, then yeah, that means Big Sexy is pandering. Then that means that this is another case of someone who pretends to be on the front line for marginalized groups of people just to exploit them. To exploit them of money, to exploit them of resources in this world of capitalism. And then not only that, weaponizing the community in terms of using a trans woman to say that Vonrhe was sleeping with a trans woman, or saying that he had slept with a trans woman, trying to pass that rumor around. But thankfully for the trans woman reaching out to Vonrhe, he was able to figure out and find out what Big Sexy was allegedly saying and spreading around. Now this here's my thing, because Big Sexy trying to finesse his way into some meat. Here's my thing in terms of that. I'm gonna say this so I can get into what I need to get into. Is about him being stank, because this makes no damn sense. About Big Sexy trying to finesse his way to some meat. People are going to eventually show you who they are. Every single time. This time you just have to believe them. At this point in time, you have to believe them. So if I was someone that had proximity, now this is me taking Vonrhe's claims for the truth, because I don't know. If I was someone that was associated with Big Sexy, and then I found out that what he was telling me wasn't the truth, then after finding out what he told me wasn't the truth as that trans woman, I wouldn't even mess with Big Sexy. I would really side-eye him like crazy. But that's if you take what Vonrhe's saying for the truth. Now, another thing too is that in terms of that is the vindictive behavior tactics of a person to go and try to weaponize someone's sexual orientation and try to spread that slander. Now, here's the thing, because Big Sexy has always also let it be known that he be stank and he don't care about him being stank. I don't understand it. And so that's what Vonrhe was letting it be known inside his interview with Conscious TV as well. He was letting it be known that he be stank inside of the studio. And now I'm not gonna lie, because keep in mind, before this, I didn't know too much about Big Sexy before I saw him on the podcast. I've seen him in passing in terms of on the social media streets, but I never actually got into Big Sexy. Vonrhe had be known that motherfucker be stank as hell inside of that studio, to the point that guests, whenever it was one time a guest was in the studio with him and he took his shoes off and it was stank. And I don't understand this. So reason why I said all of that is to say this. Now let's get back into this, because I want you guys to see what I see. Let me pull the screen up. So, big screen first. You're trying to finesse your way into some meat. My thing is this. Vonrhe he keeps himself together. For one, let's just say you are trying to finesse your way into some meat. Vonrhe keeps himself together. He gives me, he has a skincare routine. He makes sure he has deodorant. He gives me that he makes sure he takes his shower probably 2 times a day, once a day, etc., 3 times if he can. That's what Vonrhe gives me. So what about him at least in your mind, makes it make sense that you believe that he's going to be interested in you when he knows, let's just say Vonrhe was on the DL. hypothetically, allegedly, whatever, he was on the DL. What makes you think he's going to be interested in you when you keep letting it be known that you don't wash your ass, you don't wipe your ass correctly? Yes, you're booked and busy, but yet I want you guys to see this because this is ridiculous. I want you guys to see this is ridiculous. Wait, where the screen at? Bam. This is Big Sexy's feet. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Oh. This is ridiculous. This is his feet. And the reason why this is the issue because you can't get no pedicure, you can't get no manicure, you can't get somebody to do your feet. Like I could somewhat understand if you were somebody that was either homeless or didn't have the resource to be able to keep your hygiene together, etc., etc., etc. But however, you're like you said, you're booked and busy. If you're booked and busy, you can at least get your feet done. It's like at this point, you have glorified you being dirty. You have glorified. Let me cam down and cam back up, girl, because I see me over here twitching. And do it again. There we go. You have glorified you being dirty. You have glorified you being filthy. And you believe this is a new, this is the perfect example of delusion. And you believe your stank ass was going to have the chance to be with Vonrhe when you've also had an interaction with Armand Wiggins, and Armand Wiggins was essentially, for all intents and purposes, calling you out because you let it be known that you're filthy, because you also let it be known that if you're on the toilet and you have something going on and something comes up, you're not going to continue to wipe your ass properly. You're just going to get your ass up and go. This really changes the dynamics in terms of the way that I view the episodes. Because now when I look at the episodes, I go like this. Because now I know it stank inside of that studio. Now I know every time you do speak, people are just being polite to you, but your breath smell like ass. That your breath is kicking. So this is ridiculous. Look at this. And my thing is, you have the resources. So at this point, you're glorifying it. And then not only that, in his exchange with Armand Wiggins, he literally said, as a rebuttal, because they were going back and forth, he literally said that he was sitting on a shitty kitty right at that very moment when him and Armand Wiggins was going back and forth. That is nasty. Your skin don't itch. You don't have rashes. I know for a fact, well, at this point, it's safe for me to assume that you probably have streaks in your drawers. This is nasty. This is trifling. And don't get me wrong, me trying to be fair, I'm trying to understand both sides of the argument now, not that argument of the whole dirtiness thing on the level of what Big Sexy's talking about, but in terms of the initial statement, or at least the way that I understood it, from what I understood of the argument that was being made by Big Sexy initially was that sometimes people aren't having the best days in terms of their hygiene. Sometimes you may be just a tad bit too musky you may be a tad bit too musky. Your hygiene may not always be up to par. But the issue is not that, because let's be very clear. People aren't perfect. Sometimes your friend may be a little, and I may go like, hey, yo. Because I've done that before. To where, hey, you coming from football practice and you did do your thing. So, hey, yo, go fix yourself. It happens to people. It happens. But the issue is that you've accepted that, you actually glorify that, and you promote that. You very much like how people are about Sexy Red. That's how I am about Big Sexy. And then on top of that, we also know that with you having more body mass, you need to be on top of your hygiene. That needs to happen. Like, girl, I don't. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let's turn the page on this, because girl, in terms of Big Sexy and his stankness, I just can't, because that really just blew me. The fact that he talking about him being on a shitty kitty while he's sitting up there arguing with Armand Wiggins. Girl, bye. It says, child, why did he take a picture of those feet looking like that? Because he glorifies his dirtiness, his filthiness. He glorifies it. That's what he does. He glorifies him being dirty. That girl, I'm not gonna. I was shocked. I was spooked and nervous. I can't believe he admitted that. I couldn't. And the thing is about it, like, he has talked about it on the show. And don't get me wrong, there are, like, I've even had a situation. Now, not to his degree. Anything that I've ever had has been a reasonable thing. Where it was one time I was coming from work, worked in a restaurant. And I was tired. I worked a double. And then I had, undressed. I had been put the, shower on, and I had went to my bed, and I had, sat down. I sat down to get something, reach something. I forgot what I was doing, but I was doing something before I went to the shower. And the next thing I know, I had passed out. I went to sleep. And so the next morning, I literally woke up butt naked in my room, halfway out the bed, because I wasn't planning on going to sleep. Halfway out the bed, with the shower still running. It was to the point I literally thought someone came in and took advantage of me. I was like, oh, God. I had to remember what had happened last night. That's reasonable. Because you wasn't intending on going to bed like that. You literally just fell asleep. As soon as I found out what the hell happened, I took my ass straight to that shower. That's more reasonable. But the thing that little Big Sexy be doing, he actually promotes, embraces, and accepts his filthiness. And I think, especially if you're booked and busy. If you're booked and busy, you have the resource to change all those things. You can get with a doctor and see what's remedies that you can do. You can get with I think it's called the holistic doctors, or root workers, or something like that. Don't quote me, y'all. You can get with them and see what's necessary for you to be able to get your shit together. Because, girl, this is nasty. But let's turn the page on this. Let's move on. Because, girl, we're going to get into Miss Tamar Braxton and her BS of her threatening Miss Jessie Woo. Okay, so now we got Miss Tamar Braxton and Jessie Woo. Now, of course, if you guys are not aware, they are co-workers on Dish Nation. Now, essentially, this eventually started because Tamar Braxton unfollowed Jessie Woo, and then as a response, Jessie Woo released a YouTube video and let the cat out the bag. And she let it be known that Tamar Braxton threatened her over her white king, JR. Now, if you don't know who JR is the person that, I believe they were on the reality TV show. Tamar Braxton had a reality TV show where she was dating. He won. They got, I guess, what is it? I don't know. They didn't get married, but they got engaged. There we go. I was fishing for the word, y'all. They ended up getting engaged. Then they ended up breaking up and then getting back together. Now that they want to say they're engaged again. Whatever. But Jessie Woo let the cat out the bag. Let it be known that Tamar Braxton called her on the phone and threatened her and her friend, but essentially told her to get her friend because Tamar Braxton was under the belief or this idea that her friend was on to her man. Even though Tamar Braxton, from what Jessie Woo let it be known, from her perspective, that Tamar Braxton and JR weren't even together. And also, in addition to that, let it be known that Tamar Braxton threatened her friend to delete or unalive her friend. That's how unhinged Tamar Braxton was about the whole JR. I'm about to say J.R. Smith. JR and Jessie Woo's friend. Now, I will say this. Initially, I thought that the friend that was not being named in her YouTube video, I thought Jessie Woo was talking about Tommy, but that wasn't the case. Now, also, in addition to Jessie Woo's claims, she also let it be known that she feels that JR, whenever he's involved in situations, it does give a racist connotation. So The reason why she say that is this, is that in terms of Jessie Woo's friend and also in terms of timing, is that he likes to be in the media, he likes the uproar, he likes to be on the front line in terms of the general public, in terms of blogs as well, and he uses the division between black women to do so, and he essentially uses Tamar Braxton and her emotions as a pawn. Because he knows that she's a public figure, and if she explodes and go crazy, then his name is going to be brought into the reason why, especially if he is the reason why. So if she goes crazy, when I say she, Tamar Braxton goes crazy because something's going on with JR, his name is going to be brought into the spotlight, and he uses other black women and the division between the two to do so and be in the media. So she said, yes, it gives racist connotation. And let me say this. Now, in terms of, here's my issue with Tamar Braxton. I love the music. I love the TV personality. But I need for Tamar Braxton to keep it with the music and keep it with being on TV. Because I'm going to tell you this, is that when it comes down to Tamar, let me put myself on the big screen so I don't want this thing all on my face. So, when it comes to Tamar Braxton, one can argue that if she is on TV, then that means that she's probably going to have some drama surrounding her name. And you know what? I can accept that. But let me tell you this, though. Another issue that I have with Tamar is that she starts stuff, then she can't finish it. That's another big issue that I have with Miss Tamar Braxton. She starts stuff, and then when the other party goes to get with her, or they actually do match her energy, all of a sudden she's the victim and she likes to cry wolf. This has happened time and time and time again. And that's why also Jessie Woo let it be known in her YouTube video that, Tamar, even though you said what you said, you're not about that life. Because even when I told you I wasn't even friends with my friend, even though she was, she said that just so she can get the full story out of Tamar, even though I told you I wasn't friends with her, and then I gave you her information so you can check her yourself, you still didn't do that because you're not about that. And to be completely honest, we have seen this time and time again within the media of Tamar Braxton. She's not about that. She does this, but she has not demonstrated this. Now, keep in mind, you're a public figure. You are a celebrity, so you don't have to demonstrate this. But the thing is, and the gag is that you always doing this and saying that you're gonna do this. At this point, we are all that we have seen from you is a whole bunch of this, but we haven't seen this. Because the thing about it, you don't have to give this, but you keep letting it be known that you're going to be given this, and then when you had the opportunity to give this a multitude of times, it's nowhere to be found at all. Like I said, stick with the music. When you're doing the music, Tamar Braxton is like a Kelly Price to me. Musically, love them. TV-wise, for a TV show, I can understand them and I get it. But personality-wise, I cannot stand them. This is the perfect example of when they say you never want to meet your idols. Even though Kelly Price and, I was about to say Beyonce, even though Kelly Price and Tamar Braxton, they're not really my idols, but you get what I'm saying. You never want to meet your idols. So my issue is this. Starting stuff, you're not finishing it. Then on top of it, it's too much drama. It's like everything surrounding your name is always you. You are the common denominator. Iyanla Vanzant, common denominator. Now, one can argue that she was caught off guard because Iyanla apparently, from what I was told, allegedly brought up her being SA'd at a young age. That would set anybody off if you're not prepared and you didn't know that they knew that and they just throw that out there. One can argue that. But also you have the Kandi situation where Kandi confronted you about you saying things, slick things behind the scenes. Actually, not even behind the scenes. It was very much public, where Kandi had a situation going between her and Carlos King, and you were throwing shade on social media with a post saying that Carlos King don't have to steal anything. and you were throwing shade to Candy, but then when Candy saw you in person and was getting in that ass, all of a sudden you wanted to pretend like you had nothing to do with it and you don't know what she's talking about. But let's just say you don't know what she's talking about. You run your mouth so much to the point you don't even keep up with what you're saying to people. Because one day people are going to run into you. One day people are going to see you. And another example of that is, let's not forget Coco from the Big Brother house, the athletic girl, where CBS had to edit out the alleged fight between Tamar Braxton and Coco, where allegedly inside that Big Brother house, Coco knocked Tamar Braxton to the left and knocked her shades or her glasses to the right and was mopping the floor with that heifer. And so that's my thing. It's like, if you're going to do that, then own it. But the thing is that you like to do these mind games. And if people are not keeping up with the series of events of what happened in the said situation, people are going to believe like, oh my God, which I don't believe people believe that. But oh my God, she's the victim. Oh my God, what happened to her? Why y'all bullying her? When that's not even the case. That's not even the case. Same thing for the sister that literally just passed away not too long ago. I want to say it's Tracy because, girl, you know, I be messing up their names, mixing their names up. With Tracy, where Tracy used to get in that ass in terms of Tamar. And when Tracy would get Tamar all the way together and kind of have Tamar kind of her heart beating fast because she knew that death was literally around the corner if she kept messing with Tracy. That right there lets me know that you're not really about it. And then on top of that, you try to flip the script whenever people do get on that ass. And so that's why I just can't with Tamar. I just can't. I just cannot. And the thing that gets me as well is that you checking everybody else besides the person that owes you their loyalty. I'm sorry. Jessie Woo's friend, from what we understand, is Jessie Woo's friend, not yours. So you need to be checking JR. You need to be checking your man, your white king. I'm sorry. Tommy is not your friend. Tommy did not get on one knee to propose to you. JR did. And then you're going to throw shade to Tommy, and then you're going to throw shade to Jessie Woo's friend, but you have yet to still throw shade at your white king publicly. Even when you had the opportunity to do so. I don't know, girl. I don't know. And to be completely honest, that is some mammy-like behavior. Tamar, you're a mammy. You are a mammy. You're a mammy in mentality. That's some mammy behind stuff. Where you always want to check the person that essentially doesn't owe you no type of loyalty, but then you want to let the person who owes you loyalty, or is expected for that person to owe you loyalty, you let them get off scot-free and don't keep that same energy, girl. That's mammy-like behavior. But let's turn the page on that one, and now let's get into what we need to get into, okay? So let's turn the page, y'all. Let me just get this thing together. I'm going to be clicking through everything, okay? Damn. So now we got Miss Oprah Winfrey and Monique. Monique is continuously keeping her foot on Oprah Winfrey's neck. Oprah Winfrey, of course, has been trending because of The Color Purple, the release of the remake of The Color Purple, including Fantasia, Taraji, Halle Berry, Halle Bailey, girl, Chloe, one half of Chloe and Halle Bailey. Girl, I be butchering her name, girl. That whole musical came out, and it seems to be a very good movie. People are having, from what I see, a very interesting, pleasant response to the movie. People really seem to be enjoying it. But Oprah Winfrey is the producer in terms of the movie. Now, Taraji P. Henson has lately been in the media forefront because she's been letting it be known letting it be known in terms of her plight of Black women not being treated fairly, and with them not being treated fairly, there seems to be a difference in terms of pay, in terms of treatment, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So now, let's listen to what Monique had to say in regard to the situation of Taraji P. Henson's plight, Oprah Winfrey's involvement, and also another person that actually chimed in as well was Vivica Fox. But let's get into it. Let me pull my screen up. Hold up. I'm over here pushing through. Let me get this man's dirty feet out the way, because girl, this don't make no damn sense at all. There we go. So now this is brought to you guys by the courtesy of Hollywood Unlocked. Let me see. Now it says here, I'm going to read it for you guys. During her conversation with James R. Sanders from The Root, the actress who won an Academy Award expressed her belief that Henson and her fellow actors deserved better treatment, partially considering that they were personally chosen for the film. So when Oprah Winfrey, and I quote here, so when Oprah Winfrey sits at the helm and Taraji P. Henson says it's an honor that we were handpicked for this movie, well, if they were handpicked for the movie, those women should have been taken care of from the moment go, Monique explained. And it says here, and I continue, it says, at first, Monique noticed how Oprah responded to Taraji's situation after it gained attention in the media. She believed that influential media mogul did not exhaust all possible efforts to support Henson and other Black women working on the set. And I quote here, everything was, didn't I champion for y'all? I was like, stop it. You didn't champion for those women, for our sisters. What she did was, we can treat them like we always treat them. Who gonna check me, boo? I'm Oprah Winfrey. Monique's husband and manager, Sidney Hicks, shared his perspective on the matter. Addressing and resolving any potential problems on set, Monique chimed in, asserting that Oprah was caught in a compromising situation. Oprah got caught. That's what happened. So let's hear her say it for herself. Now, I do want to give credit once again to James R. Sanders. That's the person who actually had the interview with Monique. I want to keep putting that out there. Okay.
First of all, and I just want to give you step by step, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you hear those sisters say, when we showed up, we didn't even have any trailers. When we showed up, there was no food. When we showed up, we had to get ourselves to the set. When you hear all of these things, and who was at the helm of this production, James?
Good.
Oprah Winfrey.
Okay, so when you hear all of these things, and then you start saying, see, this is the treatment of the Black actress. It's nothing new. It's nothing new that the trailers are subpar. It's nothing new that either the food is subpar or there's no food at all. That's nothing new. So when Oprah Winfrey sits at the helm and Taraji P. Henson says, it's an honor. So when you hear Taraji say, an honor that we were handpicked. We were handpicked for this movie. Well, if they were handpicked for that movie, those women should have been taken care of from the moment go.
Right.
There's no way they should have walked up and there were no trailers. There's no way there was no food. And then when you hear Oprah say, but when Taraji called me, what did I do, Taraji? Lady O fixed it. When Taraji called Oprah, what happened was, James, Oprah got caught. That's what happened.
And if you look up the title of producer and what it is a producer's job is, you'll find that what Oprah fixed should have already been prepared when they got there under the title of producer. There need not be a fix.
And you know why things like this can happen, though, James? In honor that we were handpicked. We were handpicked for this movie. Well, if they were handpicked for that movie, and we all watched those videos with Oprah Winfrey and Taraji.
Yeah.
We all hear different things that Oprah Winfrey may say. When it came down to Harvey Weinstein, and we don't want to put this all on Harvey Weinstein because we'll miss the what? Silver lining?
Because we'll miss the point.
We'll miss the point. We've watched this person as I'm watching these videos now, and everything was, didn't I champion for y'all? Soon as you called me up, didn't I champion for y'all? For the production. It's like Oprah Winfrey, stop it. Because what you did was you didn't champion for those black women, for our sisters. You didn't champion for them. What you did was in my humble opinion, it was, we can treat them just like we always treat the black actress. Who gonna check me, boo?
Oh.
I'm Oprah Winfrey. And free. So then when Oprah Winfrey got the call, well, I fixed everything, but y'all know everything should have been done when you showed up. And that's the part that we're missing. Everything should have been done when our sisters walked on that set. It is no way that should have gone down like that. And now when you see our beautiful sisters saying, yeah, but it got fixed, it's like, y'all, we're making it worse doing that.
And either one or two things is true. Either Oprah is powerful, or Oprah is not as powerful at three things. Oprah is powerful, Oprah is not as powerful as we believe, or Oprah chooses not to use her powers as it relates to championing for folks that need championing for. And you know what, too, James? And I say these things and I'm free. So when this comes out, I hope that it reflects the humility that we're trying to put with it. Okay?
Yes.
It was easy for our community to accept a broken black woman. And we saw Taraji be broken and bent over and crying. It's hard for our community to accept a black woman that has a strong black man by her side saying unacceptable. In an industry, while exhibiting strength herself, you see two black people coming together.
So that's basically what was said. Let me just do this real quick, because girl, now we're gonna get into the things. So the things. So, let me drop this down. So I want to make sure that we continue to see what we need to see. Hold up. Make sure everything's intact. There we go. All right. So here's the thing. Girl, I'm over here. I'm the producer. I'm talking about over here on the Reckless Bureau. I'm the producer, the creator, and also the employee as well, girl. So y'all got to work with me over here, just pressing everything over here, okay? But here's the thing. Now, everybody knows this whole Taraji P. Henson, Oprah Winfrey thing that's been going on. People have been shedding light on it. Now, they have spoke out and said that there's nothing more to the issue or whatever. That could be true. That could not be true. Only God knows. Okay? But let me drop this for them for 1 second. There we go. But let me say this. In terms of, let me cam back up. I'm over here freezing. There we go. So in terms of Taraji P. Henson's plight, everything that Taraji has been saying recently is the exact same thing that Monique was expressing when she was frustrated with said industry. Monique let it be known that black women weren't being paid fairly. Monique was also letting it be known, let me take this off my screen real quick. Also letting it be known that they're being treated unfairly in the industry that they also work hard in. Now, one can say, because I did see this come up as well. Now, in terms of the pay, once Taraji P. Henson broke it down, you get a certain amount for your salary or your pay. 50% of that goes to Uncle Sam, aka your taxes. Then you owe your team 20, I think she said 20 to 30. I know the third cap is 30% of what you made in the original payout. And you give that 30% to your team, and whatever left, you have to take for yourself. Now, here's the thing. In contrast to that, someone ended up putting up a post, and the post said this. I'm paraphrasing. The post said it made a comparison between Taraji P. Henson and some woman, I want to say from Grey's Anatomy. I forgot the name of the woman name or whatever. It's from a TV show. And there was a quote. The quote said, TV makes you rich. No, movies make you famous, but TV make you rich. Because there was a difference in terms of what Taraji was getting paid for her movie, her being in a movie, versus what the head star or this woman, because I forgot the name of the show and who the woman is, was getting paid per episode. Now, that may hold some truth. But here's the issue. The issue is that The Color Purple was a very expensive movie. The budget on that movie, to my understanding, was vast. There's no reason why these individuals, like Taraji P. Henson, Danielle, are on set, being brought onto this set, and they have no food, no transportation, nothing being given to them that should be given to them, like dressing rooms, trailers, separate trailers, especially once the issue, to Oprah's point, was brought up to the attention of the powers that be. All of a sudden, they got all of this available to them. But my question is, like Monique said, why wasn't this available beforehand? If all these individuals were handpicked, and even from, I'm over pressing stuff, girl, messing up the church's money, even from all of their stories, how some cast members have tried out for roles and they didn't get the role that they initially tried out for, but they were handpicked to be in a different role. So if all these actors and actresses were handpicked, why weren't they accommodated appropriately? Especially when you guys had the resource and you had the power and the means to do so and to treat them fairly. Now, Taraji P. Henson has the same plight as Monique. There's really no difference in between Monique saying it, as in the core message, versus Taraji saying it. They both were neglected about their message, but what I will say is that Taraji is more accepted in terms of what she's saying in her message, in terms of the delivery, etc., etc., etc. Because hearing people speak about the situation, the dilemma between Oprah and the plight of Taraji P. Henson, she's not getting the same treatment as Monique, but however, there's still an attempt to neglect and disregard what she's saying. Because people have said that, that's the reason why I brought up the whole example of people reposting the picture of movies get you famous, TV makes you rich. It's because it's a way to neglect what her plight is. Even though two things can be true. Movies can make you famous and TV can make you rich, but however, that does not explain or take into account how a production is treating melanated actors and actresses with a movie who has an expansive budget. That doesn't make any sense. And that goes to show Oprah Winfrey not to be trusted. Because like Monique said, if you are the producer, then, well, not even Monique, the other individual, James R. Sanders, if you're the producer, if you look into the roles, responsibilities of what a producer does, making sure that your cast members are accommodated. That's what you do as a producer. That's your job. You should not have to wait until something goes wrong to make sure that it's taken care of. It should already be taken care of. Especially like you said, they were handpicked. All right, so let's get into this. Yeah, so I don't trust Oprah Winfrey as long as I can see her. Now, keep in mind, before this, I wasn't really even before the Monique situation, I wasn't really too hip on I'm about to say Portia. On Oprah Winfrey, I really wasn't aware of how evil, conniving, and underhanded she is until I'm gonna say even after the Monique, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels situation, where I saw things about Oprah coming up in terms of her school and the controversy surrounding her school, the situation with Monique, where she essentially blackballed or attempted to blackball Monique, in addition with Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels, also clips of Oprah Winfrey, and it seemed like she was trying, at least from the clip, because I know how social media works, where people would take a piece of a clip, take it out of context, or glue it together with something else and completely misinterpret the meaning. But there are clips of Oprah Winfrey, from what it seemed to be like, from what I understand, it looked like she was trying to justify someone messing with minors, trying to justify it. Now, I saw that and I heard that. And so I really was looking at Oprah Winfrey, you not to be trusted at all. And then to think about is this, that she always gave fake vibes to me. And that's the thing. She's a TV personality. Like, and that's not to say TV personalities aren't fake. It's just that they know how to turn it on, turn it on, and turn it off. Is that sometimes you may have a bad day, but you still have a show to do. You may be having a bad day or something happened to you or et cetera, but then, you know, you still have to, oh, hello, welcome to the Oprah Winfrey Show. Here's a free gift basket. And then go back and you acting a fool. Perfect example we can use is Ellen and the accusations that's being made against her. How on the Ellen show, hi guys, I'm Ellen. We're bubbly. Yay! But then we're hearing stories of how the work conditions is not really friendly. What she puts on the forefront from the TV screens is not the same person that apparently they're experiencing behind the scenes. You get what I'm saying? Now, the thing about it too is this. I do understand, because the same thing has been said about Beyonce, where Front Street on Front Street, it's oh hi, halo, all that. Then on the back street, on the back end, it's military. Like, she's real strict about her things. Now, and the reason why I brought Beyonce up, because I also want to let this be known. I understand that when it comes down to work, you have to be about your business. So I understand that at times there's not going to be a friendly thing going on, because at the end of the day, this does have my name on it. I am the face of this. If anything goes wrong, yeah, they may say the producer, but they're going to go to me first. I'm going to be in the media. I'm going to be the one looking a fool. I'm going to be the one people are going to be making fun of. And if this is going to be quote unquote, my brand, is really our brand because it's a team effort, but I'm the face. And since I'm the face, I'm the one that's going to be taking the most heat, because they don't know who the producer is. Most people are not going to do the work to find out who the producer is unless it's something drastic. So I understand, in terms of me bringing up Beyonce, is that you got to be on your business. And sometimes to get things done, you might have to be a bitch. You might have to be an a-hole. Because the viral clip that goes on with Beyonce doing her a performance, I forgot which one the performance it was, where they completely got the lighting wrong. And she was like, I tell you, I thought I said that yesterday. Okay, got you. Ellen blamed everything on her team. on her staff. But another reason why I don't trust Oprah Winfrey, in addition to everything else, is that for one, these might sound surface level, but y'all just follow me. She's a billionaire. Now, that's not to say all billionaires are like Oprah Winfrey in terms of but this is just the way I'm breaking it down. Not all, of course, I shouldn't have to say this, but just in case, not all billionaires. But she's a billionaire. And with her being a billionaire in this world, in society of capitalism, where you bully the small guys, dominate the small guys, businesses. Big businesses bully the small businesses, dominate said industry, and then make all the money and let everybody else struggle. The hierarchical structure, capitalism. If you, as everybody says, when you are in a system, aka of capitalism, and you're within business, they say this all the time, especially in corporate America. Business is dirty. And you being at the top lets me know there's a part of you that you may have to do what you have to do. Only God knows what that means. You doing what you have to do. From what I've seen so far in terms of the elites and everything that's coming out with Harvey Weinstein, I'm about to say Jeffrey Dahmer, bitch. Harvey Weinstein, Tyler Perry, Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, the Playboy House, the guy for the Playboy House, all the elites, the people that's quote unquote at the top, these executive producers, people that's making people sleep with them to be able to for their career. Like I forgot the guy who apparently exposed Halle Berry for allegedly sleeping with some powerful people for her roles, allegedly. How there seems to be a very consistent theme that when you're at the top, you have done everything that you've done, everything that you had to do to make it to the top. That right there lets me know that you have a capacity, because there seems to be a consistent theme. You have a capacity to do some. Thank you, Stevie. That's what I'm looking for. With Halle Berry, where he exposed that allegedly he heard some powerful, I forgot the name of the people, high-powered people around 2003, 2004, talk about how Halle Berry had to sleep to get her roles, allegedly. And he completely exposed that woman. But there seems to be a consistent theme in this world of capitalism and business, and you being at the top and having power, where it doesn't give integrity. It doesn't give ethics, because ethics are subjective. Your values are subjective. It doesn't mean they're going to be quote unquote humane. Because a part of capitalism is also having miners from different countries make all different types of products. So that's why I do not trust Oprah Winfrey. Now, I want to say this as well, is that people's biases do speak. And this is the perfect example of when back somewhere in that bike, let's go through a time machine, where we were talking about Monique and her plight, and where she let it be known where black women are not being treated fairly. This is what's going on. They're trying to blackball me, yada, 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 yada. And I remember distinctively the outrage that Monique got. Yes, I can understand her delivery and yada, yada, yada. And but the thing is that people biases people were speaking through their biases. Now, let me say this. People having biases, we all have biases in terms of the way that we think. Biases is a natural human thing. It's human behavior. Reason why we have biases is because our mind tries to preserve our brain from doing extra work when it's not necessary, and tries to reserve that energy for when it's actually necessary for critical thinking. So we all have biases, but the gag is that the general public, that the culture has to do, is recognize those biases and fight against those biases. Because when you recognize something, when you know, you're able to do better. You're able to do better when you know better, and when you know what your biases are, you can fight against those biases and be more cognitive and be more aware of what biases are in play. Now, what I mean by that is this, is that when Monique essentially said the exact same thing about her pay, the bias is, it's a racial bias. She is melanated. And typically with you being melanated, you're going to be neglected for the things that you say in this capitalistic world, racist capitalistic society. You're going to be neglected for your quote unquote complaining. And also, in addition to that, she's a woman. So you're black, you're a woman. Those biases do, whether people recognize it or not, they activate in the subconscious. And people didn't realize that they were speaking through those biases. Because now we fast forward to present day, where Taraji is saying the exact same thing, because another thing that also, another bias that played a part was Monique being heavyset, not meeting the traditional beauty standard. Now you're a fat, angry black woman complaining about being in an industry that we allowed you to be in. And on top of that, your aggression. Hold up, y'all. My thing just opened. Hold up 1 second. Something had opened real quick. That we allowed you to be in, and you're complaining, and then you showing aggression or AKA passion, because you won't just, like, in the words of Malaysia Pargo on the I'm about to say Real Housewives of Atlanta, Malaysia Pargo on Basketball Wives, just lay down and take it. Just because you won't lay down and take it. But now we fast forward to present day, where Taraji is saying the exact same thing, where she is black, she is a woman, but she's likable, which does play a part, because another bias that we all have, is, whether we realize it or not, is that when you like somebody, it's easier for you to digest what they're saying. And when you dislike somebody, it's easier for you to dismiss what they're saying. So Taraji's more likable. And then on top of that, she meets more of the beauty standard than Monique would in terms of body types, which also plays a part. Because not only do you have the reputation, aka you're likable, but then not only that, you look acceptable as well too. And so the lesson in all of this is that we have to be, as a culture, as the general public, the people, we have to be aware of our biases. We have to be aware of what's at play in terms of us, in terms of us analyzing it, in terms of us analyzing situations that are put on the forefront. Because people say this all the time. Us, the people, the general public, the supporters, we can make a change. But the thing about it is that if we can, quote unquote, make a change, then we need to be very cognitive and very aware of what's at stake and what's at play. Because there's a lot of times people just pull the wool over people's heads. Because let's not forget, like Intersex just said, Viola Davis said the same thing. she doesn't meet the beauty standard. She's black, she's a woman, but she doesn't meet the beauty standard. And so she was dismissed. As everybody knows, Viola Davis, she has the talent, she has the resume, but yet she was dismissed. And also, it didn't get the same traction, because that's why it says no outrage, because it didn't get the same traction. Because comparatively speaking, Taraji meets more of the beauty standard, and also looks wise from what the beauty standard is, traditional beauty standard. Monique will meet more of the beauty standard because of her features. These are all the things that come that are in play. And so we have to be aware of those things so we can appropriately assess them. Because the same thing happened with Cat Williams in his interview, where we completely dismissed everything that man was saying because it was sensational. It was shock. He was a shock jock, etc. He was, it was a truth and lie here, and but it was so much. But what people didn't realize, that he was mixing in truth with truth and a lie. It was attacking people that did not get that did not warrant him, that did not warrant that attack. And so that's really it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button. Please make sure you guys pop that like button. Make sure you guys comment down below. Please let me know what you guys think. Let me know. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. But that is really it. I will see you guys later. Y'all make sure you guys look out for my next video. I'm trying to get these videos out as soon as I can. I'm trying to work it around my work schedule. So some of these things I may not get a chance to talk about as soon as they happen, because I may be at work. But I'm getting back into the content creating mood. But with that being said, I will see you guys later. Bye.